All right, everybody, and welcome to, I guess this is a Keep Talking 365 promotion because I don't know what I'm about to say on this podcast I got going on here. See if anybody agrees with me, disagrees with me. I just got to get some stuff off my chest. So that's why I'll keep it at a Keep Talking 365 because I might say some stuff that Josh doesn't agree with or some stuff that Eric doesn't agree with. So I'm going to keep this on what I have to say. I got to get some stuff off my chest, guys. And I just, I have a podcast. I'm trying to get more listeners and followers, but I don't promote too well. But it really, obviously, I really don't care who's listening, who's watching. At the end of the day, I hope a lot of people hear what I got to say. But it's just a good spot to get stuff off your chest. You hear stuff, say stuff out loud. I know Josh enjoys that aspect of it. I know Eric enjoys that aspect of it. But Eric keeps it, Eric keeps it mostly to his to the sports banter, but Josh likes to get into some of this sometimes. But I got some stuff I need to get off my chest about what's going on in this country right now. I've been watching for weeks and weeks and weeks, watching this president stumble through interviews, watching this president just stare off into space, basically looking like he's not alive up there. Now we all know what's going on there, right? He's an 80-year-old codger. He probably does not have any of his facilities. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if anybody saw, I guess most of America saw, he visibly looked like he had no idea where he was and he had no idea what he was talking about. I know, it could be mixed up, I guess, but he mixed up the president of Egypt and the president of Mexico, which, geographically is a pretty big mix up. But for an 80-year-old man, I don't know, maybe he just didn't remember, maybe he didn't remember his geography. But you're president, and I guess you got to remember what our leader of the free world that you were talking to. So, president's a different situation. You have to have all your facilities about you to get up there in front of the American people. And whether you're lying to us or telling us the truth, it doesn't matter. You have to sell us a line of shit. Now, the Democratic Party right now is selling us a line of shit. Not saying the Republicans are angels, but gotta be honest with you guys. Right now, that is the way that a lot of things are going right now. The Democratic Party, I feel now, a good friend of mine, Greg, I'll say his name. Greg sent me a video last night of the last politician that I actually really got behind is Tulsi Gabbard, and she's all about Trump right now. And she came on last night and she spoke at some convention. And my buddy sent me the video. And basically, the gist of what she said is she opened up with, she said, democracy is under attack. Now, let's let that resonate for a couple of minutes. Democracy is under attack, guys. Now, when you think of democracy, what do you think about? Think about United States of America. You think about we vote on everything. You think about it's a government for the people, by the people, and all that nonsense. We, the people today, have no say in what goes on up in that big house, that big White House down there in DC. I truly believe that, guys, because there's an agenda being pushed forward, and it's all whether we choose to believe it or whatever it is, but we're being distracted from a much bigger goal of somebody, something. I always said that as a country that we are going to devour ourselves from the inside out. And you see that every day. You see people arguing. You see people arguing about, people's rights. You see people arguing about, if transgender agendas, about, biological boys wanting to play sports with biological girls. You had this migrant crisis. You have all these people coming in by the thousands and thousands and thousands every single day, and nobody is doing a damn thing about it. Nobody is doing a damn thing about it. You have everybody has to play nice. Everybody gets a trophy. That's all well and good. But you want to put out a banter that everybody gets a free, everybody gets, a chance in this country. Everybody, everybody's equal, which we are. We all have to work hard. We all equally have to come together and work hard. We can't have just some people work hard and other people just take. We can't have other people work really, really hard and not pay taxes. They worked really hard to get where they are, a lot of these people. But when you get to an upper echelon of tax brackets and stuff, and there's loopholes and stuff, I understand how the taxes are brought down, but you can't, you just, there's got to be some kind of leveling out in this country because if you have it, you got it. If you don't, you got it. Like, I don't want to be that person that doesn't have it. I'm still fine with being the person that struggles every day. No, you go to work. No, it's a two income household this day and age, guys. It's not, anybody that's in their 50s like me. It's not a, my mom worked, my dad worked, my dad was a cop, my mother was a nurse. A lot of parents back in the day, the father worked and the mother didn't. This day and age, it's paramount for a two-person economy in the house because I don't know if everybody's been paying attention, but there's got to be somebody out there that's got to explain to me. Now, I don't want to come out as harsh, so everybody comes out and says, fuck the liberal agenda and fuck this side, and the liberal agenda turn around and say, Trump wants a dictatorship, and everybody just yells and yells and yells, but nobody has points. No, everybody does come up with points. It's mostly opinion based, and 9 times out of 10, somebody will say something to you, and you have to really go down, do a little, research and figure out that it's not even true. So we, the people, do not know what the hell is going on in this country right now. Now, we, the people, meaning there's about 100 million people in this country that are we, the people, and we, the people, are not being heard. You got people that just don't vote in this country. You have people that just don't care. You have people on American soil, protesting something that's going on thousands of miles away. They're protesting the inhumane way Palestinians are being treated. This is people in this country. While it's a fact that rape, sexual abuse, and everything that goes along with that, weapons being used as sexual devices on people, gang rapes, those poor people that were, I guess you want to say Pearl Harbored? You want to use that term? Because they were. There were a bunch of people dancing in the desert for a goddamn rave. And these guys swooped in, just shooting, killing, raping, defiling, creating an inhumane atmosphere for people. Now, I'm not saying it's right on either sides. I'm not saying it's right to treat people inhumanely, but you're on goddamn American soil and you're complaining about something that's happening to people that are somewhere else when there's stuff happening here. Colleges pushing agendas. Harvard. What's up, Harvard? Guys, this is America. And I don't know where we stopped believing in America, because I don't believe in America right now. I believe we're just giving it all away. I believe we have I won't even call it a presidency. I'll call it a regime right now that's literally loaded with people that have a ton of money, yelling about people and saying that other people have too much money. Now, it's billionaires fighting against billionaires, okay? Capitalism, okay? Everybody's a part of it, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, or a red-blooded goddamn American. Everybody needs to make money in this country, okay? Now, Democrats, you're all billionaires, millionaires, senators, governors, president. Republicans as well, millionaires, billionaires. You're all taking and taking and taking, and you're telling us that we just have to just suck it up. Our taxes just have to go up. We just said there's a big portion of this country in the middle of this country that is mad because we just keep getting our stuff taken from us every day. Our paychecks go down every day. They don't go up. You know why they go down? Because our paychecks stay the same and our taxes go up. I don't know what I don't know what we're going to do in this country to where we could get on the same page. But what's happening now is not working. Now, I have people in my life that feel that Joe Biden is doing a good job. And again, this is America. You guys are entitled to your opinion and you're entitled to fact-driven conversations. That's what it is. I want to talk to somebody that can have a conversation with me, which, look, I don't like either side. I don't. I'm a registered independent who is this close to voting for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. because both sides are out of control crazy when you get extreme right and extreme left. The left is way too liberal, and the Democratic Party is becoming that. They just want to give it all away, and they want to take it from me. The right is pushing their religious agenda on us. That somehow that we have to believe in certain things, that you're making laws against what people do to their bodies. You're telling people that they can't get married. You're infringing on people's human rights, I guess you would say. That's the right. And the left is doing everything possible corruptly to take everything from us to make sure that their agenda sticks. A lot of Americans, the Democratic Party back in the 1980s, I guess, or I don't even know. We could talk about that. What happened to the Democratic Party where it stopped becoming for the working class people? What happened to the Democratic Party where it says, just shut your mouth and just let us take your shit? I understand people's arguments this day and age that I don't understand how you vote Republican if you're a union iron worker, you're a union construction worker. I got news for everybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They don't care. It doesn't matter, guys. Whether it's a Republican, Democrat, you're a union worker. Unions need to be strong in the United States of America. I don't care who says no. I don't care who thinks the unions are greedy. At the end of the day, unions are pertinent for this country, for normal human beings to be treated correctly at job sites and to make a fair wage. Now, that's something else that maybe somebody out there might want to take me to task on. But all I know is I've been a gainfully employed union iron worker for 24 years. It's taking care of my family. I had benefits, and I was never given the runaround. And I built New York City for 24 years because of Local 580, my union. And there is actually people out there that in my union that are still saying you have to vote for Joe Biden because he's for the unions. And that I've never ever seen this type of discussion being had among union brothers. Hate because these guys love America and they vote for Trump. Hate because how could you turn your back on the union and vote Republican? It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't. We're going to work or we're not going to work. And I got news for you. I got no faith in going forward with the unions in New York City because people are getting money no matter what. People don't care anymore if we're pissed off. People don't care. What are you going to do? What are you going to go set up a little rat? You're going to set up a little picket sign, or are you going to set up your little strike flags? Well, that used to work. Now they don't give a shit. They piss on us. That's what happens. That's what happens when politicians get way too big for their britches. I don't know what's told to you the minute, like if you're a guy that's just getting out in politics and you're a guy that really stands for something, what happens to you when you actually get that? What happens to you when you actually go into that office? Does somebody sit you down and open up that book, that big fat Republican book or that big fat Democrat book and say, listen, I love everything you had to say. It's all well and good, but you got to strike this, and that from your campaign. You're in now and you can't talk about this stuff anymore because that doesn't fit our agenda as this party. On the Republican side, When Trump was running for president the first time, those Republican primaries, it was a shit show. There was 10 people up there yelling and screaming about what a piece of shit Trump was. Trump got the nomination. Trump became president. You know what 90% of those people did? They waved their flags for Trump and say, yay, Trump, yay, Trump. What happened when you were against this policy? What happened when you were calling him a bully? What happens when this? See, politics becomes a game of being a spineless person. I have to assume that you have to give up so much of what you truly believe in to become a politician today. You grow up all full of piss and vinegar. You're a political science major, or you're in college, and I'm going to make a change. I'm going to graduate. I'm going to get my PhD, or I'm going to get my master's. I'm going to make a change. And then you get there, and then you become a weasel, because nothing you stood for your entire life is in the cards for the party which you choose to join or you choose to back. A third party is never going to get the nomination in this country in my lifetime, maybe my kid's lifetime. A third party is never going to get it, because you see what happens when they do stuff for, third party. Tulsi Gabbard, I love her. She is my favorite politician. I just opened up when she said democracy is under attack, and I agree with her. She was a Democrat. She's a veteran. She has very, very strong opinions on what's going on in her old party, the Democratic Party. She's embarrassed of it. This is a woman that was part of the Democratic convention. She was up there. She was going to run for president. Hillary Clinton was up there with her. They buried her as a party on such a large scale. The same thing they did, I guess, to Bernie Sanders. They did the same thing to Bernie Sanders. So when the agenda becomes bigger than the beliefs, people turn and will do anything to just keep their jobs or to keep that money rolling in. How many politicians out there I've heard in the last 50 years, just shut the fuck up and pass the bill? That's not how you run a country. It starts from, I guess, the top, which right now the top, I guess, is just kind of being pushed around and poked and prodded. Like, I know everybody says a weekend at Bernie's. It's kind of funny, but no, it's true. I really, truly think that. Let me get back to what I was saying before about when the first time I got in my head that this guy is just out of his mind. I truly believe that people were saying that Joe Biden is not all there, that his facilities don't work. He's not talking properly. He doesn't remember. So he went out there one day and was talking about, I guess he was talking about, Hamas, and he was talking about the war in Israel, and he was talking about the economy, and he was talking about unemployment and employment. And he was just bang, 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 just fucking it up. He had no earpiece in. And I don't know if there was a teleprompter, but I think that old codger turned around and says, I don't need you guys telling me what to say. I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And that gets him in trouble, because he just looks like he doesn't know what he's talking about. He looks like a babbling brook. Okay. And I truly think that that's what happened last time. He said, I don't need an earpiece. I don't need anybody telling me what to do. I'm going to go out and just talk to the people. They're going to know who Joe Biden is. But you know what, though? They really do know who Joe Biden is now. A guy who has no clue about what's going on right now. And the people that do have a clue are behind the scenes. And he's that guy that they're going to go in and they're going to put his body up there, and he's going to run for president this year. He's going to run against Donald Trump. Guys, he's running against Donald Trump. Now, I say this before I start going back into the Democratic Party. What they are, look, I don't know. I'm probably going to vote for Donald Trump this year. Most likely. I'm almost there. I'm still teetering on going independent, but how could you live in a country or live in a state? Okay. Live in a state. Let's take Colorado, for instance. How could you live in a state where they're trying to take the man off the ballot? A couple other states like that are trying to do that. How can you live in a country and live in a state where you are trying to take somebody off the ballot because you're scared of the repercussions? Now, if you don't want him to win that state, the people will tell you by allowing the votes to happen. That's how it works. That's how democracy works. You don't say to somebody that all these people love you and all these people want you to become the president. You can't keep you off that ballot. You can't. Now, I don't know if some smarty pants is going to come up and say, "Oh, yes, they can. There's a law that says that." Blah blah blah. No, you're scared. Scared. And I understand. Look, there is people in this country that like what Donald Trump stands for 100%. I'm about 75% in with him. He's comes his whole my whole problem with him is it's kind of like a prototypical male type personality trait that he has that I just, through my life that I just, I just didn't like. But we need this country needs a guy like him to just say, fuck you. Straight up. Not, well, we have to make this person happy. We got to make that person happy. We got to make no. We need a guy. Now, I have never ever seen a guy in my life. Now, if you're in your 50s like I am, 40s, Donald Trump has been jammed down your throat for your entire life. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump was beloved by the unions back in the 80s. Oh, I hear about from some of the old timers of 580 about these great parties he used to throw. And he would come down and he would talk to the guys and he'd get the beers. And I mean, that same guy is being looked at as a villain right now. Now, I don't know if anybody has noticed, but he's still that guy. Now, whether that guy be the person that said, if I was going to run for president one day, I would run with the Republican Party because they're all dumb, and having all his Democratic friends at the time, he's still that guy. But I don't think that Donald Trump is the guy that those friends he had back then that hate him now. I don't think that the only ill will I think that he has towards them is because he's Donald Trump and had that turn your back on him. But I don't think that he's going to go back and say, I'm not ever talking to that person again. I don't think that Hillary Clinton's a weird one. Let's take Bill, for instance. Let's say Donald Trump runs into Bill Clinton somewhere. I don't know. Let's just say a brothel, whatever, somewhere where nobody knows, where these guys are, Epstein Island Part 2, whatever. I bet that those guys would chill out and have a good conversation because they have a man conversation, And that's another thing that's happening in this country. Men aren't allowed to be men anymore. We're not allowed to be your prototypical I guess some people look at it as a bully mentality, but we're not allowed to have those people anymore because those people are looked upon as bullies and you can't say this and you can't say that. I got news for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is fucking United States of America. Free speech. I've said it numerous times. Free speech means free speech. Now, free speech, if you want to break it down, however you want to break it down, that's fine. But let's just call it what it is. We have the right to say whatever the fuck we want. And you, as an American, have every right to look at me and say, I disagree with you or what you're saying. I think you're crazy. Let's talk. That's the beauty of free speech. Okay. Now, there are people out there that go out and they hurt feelings, on purpose. It is what it is, man. Let's suck it up. Let's toughen up a little bit. Okay. Because you think about stuff that's said about people like, in jest or joking from somebody that really doesn't know who you are. Why do you take that to heart? Why do you take somebody looking at you and calling you a piece of shit who doesn't know anything about you, but they're just looking at you and they call you a piece of shit? I'm guilty of that. I've said that to people, but I'm admittingly just trying to get a rise out of people. Some people I've said that about in my life. I don't know much about. Like, you know what? I think it's a lot of people. I think let's look at I'm trying to think of some celebrities, like or politicians, like politicians that I think are pieces of shit. I don't like their politics, but I might sit down and have a beer with them. I'd like to sit down and have a beer with Obama. I'm sure it'd be a lot of fun to have a conversation with. But we're being told like guys like Trump are a bully. We're being told that he wants to be a dictator. We're being told that if you vote for him, being told viciously, viciously, viciously by people that you've known for years that I can't believe you. I don't even know who you are. It's look, if you're so butthurt about somebody's political views, if you're so butthurt about the fact that somebody disagrees with your little baby games, let's stop. I remember I remember being at my grandparents' house in the late 70s, being a young kid, and my cousins Eddie and Sean listening to the parents in the dining room, and my grandfather listening to the women in like the kitchen area, and and my grandfather and my father and all his brothers yelling at each other or talking about politics and this and that and disagreements. And but you know what happened? They just turned around and just continued to watch the fights. We ate dinner and we went on. People went on. Families are breaking up. Look at somebody. Who'd you vote for this year? I voted for Trump. I can't believe you. I'm never talking to you again. What? I'm looking at this election coming up, and I've always said to myself throughout the years when I would vote, I would say, I'm going to vote for the best person that's going to protect my needs. Now, I don't know if that sounds selfish to some people. It might sound selfish to a lot of people on that liberal left, but politics is a selfish game. And if you start looking at politics from a selfish point of view, a third party may be able to sneak into the mix a little bit. And what I mean by that is I'm going to vote for the guy or the girl who does what I need to support my family and what I need to get through every day. If you're a Democrat, if you're a Republican, or if you happen to be independent, Green Party, Libertarian, you name the parties that have tried to break into the Republican Democrat kingdom and have failed, you name them. Some of them have had a lot of good ideas, but they just get crushed. And there's a reason for that. I mean, I don't, again, like I said before, I don't think I'm going to see an independent president in my lifetime. And and there's obvious factors there. But to say that somebody is not going to talk to me because I got accused, not even accused. I made a simple, like when this migrant thing first started happening, I went on my silly Facebook page and I made a joke about the migrants coming into more homeless people being up by the Walmart up here in Fishkill. I see people in the back of Fishkill. This is probably about 2 years ago when I did this. There was people living up there, and I kind of made a joke about how the migrants coming to the city are pushing the homeless out, and the homeless are moving north. The whatever, they're moving north. I was some kind of silly post. I had somebody comment on there that I've known for a very, 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 very long time. I consider this person a very, very close friend, which, and I obviously do what I do. And I kind of like lost contact with myself. But this person's comment to me on Facebook was, I feel like I never knew you. This is the last straw. Goodbye. Never blocked me, deleted me. I don't know what this person did, but I can't believe that. I also have friends that vehemently disagree with a lot of my views and think I'm fucking batshit crazy. But you know what, though? I'm going to have a great conversation about the Jets or Mets with them, or we're going to talk about, we're going to break each other's balls about why we think our views are crazy, but we're friends. We're going to go have a beer together. Don't worry about it. This friendship is not going to break up because I think, you're a little loopy if you still like Biden. It's just not going to happen. I'm going to try and maybe ask you and say, if you could try and maybe turn me and make my decision of who I'm going to vote for, but that's way in the past. Like, I can't go Democrat. Can't do it. That is, and there's another thing too. And if a certain candidate catches your eye and he happens to be an independent, okay, and then you tell this person who's a staunch Republican, right, or is a staunch Democrat. I've actually heard this from a lot of staunch Democrats saying that if you vote for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., you're taking votes away from this one, or you're taking votes away from that one. What if that person is the person that lines up with my ideology? What if that person checks more boxes than Trump or Biden? You weigh them out. I look at the one side, Biden gets maybe one check because of maybe he does get some jobs for unions. Okay, maybe, the PRO Act, whatever it is. He's creating jobs. I guess, maybe. But the rest of the boxes being checked over on the Republican side. I'm not a fan of their fanaticism when it comes to religion and it comes to what they want to do to people's bodies. But I have to go with the more boxes being checked on the other side. So that leads me to believe that I'm going to vote Republican. But I also have an independent voter registration card. It says Richard Murphy is a registered independent. My wife was a registered independent. She recently said to me, my wife, I think she changed to Republican because my wife's following it. She's paying attention. She's voting for Trump. She's voted for Trump every single time. And she's not one of these women that if you look at her and say, why'd you vote for Trump? She'll tell you. So, we've had our conversations. We've had our talks. And I got to be honest with you, a lot of the stuff that I thought that she was crazy years ago doesn't sound that crazy anymore. So she's locked in, even to a point where she changed to Republican from independent because she wants to vote in the primary. She wants to become a full-on, let's go. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet because I'm an American, right? Why can't I have a say? I'm like up in the air. I'm an independent guy. I'm up in the air. Why can't I have a say of who the Democratic candidate's going to be or the Republican candidate's going to be? Well, you locking me out of the party? It's like, you get to the door and say, let me see your identification. Oh, independent. Can't come in tonight. But there's a really good DJ playing in there. Doesn't matter. You don't got the right ID. Oh, damn it. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to, sit around and hang out with my independent buddies and, and libertarian people and Green Party guys and girls. And I don't know, again, whatever, third party that was trying to break in. And we're just going to have our own little party and be like, commiserate and say, wow, I can't believe we can't get into that. I can't believe they don't give a shit how we feel in the middle about who the candidate's going to be. So I have to wait for somebody to choose that candidate for me and decide whether I want to vote for that person or I still want to remain independent. Independent meaning I can go this way or that way. Independent contractors, right? Call up an independent contractor. You don't work for nobody. You know who he works for? Works for himself. These are the people that need to be spoken to. These are the people that at the end of the day need to hear. You need to hear us. Again, I'm a little pissed that I can't vote in the primaries. It is what it is. Republican, it doesn't matter. It's going to be Trump. It's going to be Trump against Biden. Biden may have an accident maybe before it happens. Who knows if he's going to be, mentally stable enough to come into the mix. I can tell you one thing. What they're trying to set up right now is more scary than anything you could ever imagine if you're an American citizen, if you're a proud, red-blooded American. I have friends that live in California. Okay. We talk, I like to have little one of them I have some banter with, on Facebook. And, as I have made comments on Facebook and we have gone back and forth. This is a friend of mine that lives in California. We have gone back and forth. But what's pretty funny? At the end of the day, it always ends with a joke. It always ends with an I love you. Or it always ends with it, I think you're fucking crazy. But you know what, though? There's never a I'm blocking you, you suck, and blah, blah. No, it's just, we have seriously, differencing opinions politically, but we can joke about it. I have another friend that lives in California who's maybe, I really don't talk politics too much with him. He's somebody I've known my entire life. And we really don't talk about politics too much. I know he lives in California, moved out there, and I know I still live in New York, and I know that I miss him. I wish he lived I wish he lived here. And I have another person I call brother. I have another person I could say is probably one of my favorite people in the entire world. I could say him, me and AJ. I get AJ. We have AJ. We have the best conversations about politics. We have the best conversations about life. There's a guy right there who gets it. There's a guy who's wandered around the entire world, stopped in all these different countries, seen many lifestyles, seen many different types of governments, seen he snuck into countries. He's, older now. He's got a daughter, married, but he's seen it all and he's very, very educated. More people need to be like him. So when I tell you that, when I tell you that, like people are breaking up families because of this, breaking up friendships. But back to why I brought up California. Not only does one of my best friends in the world live out in California, but they live in a state where a man named Gavin Newsom has been brought up lately. Now, if you don't know who Gavin Newsom is, I guess for the last couple of years, maybe there's no reason to, because he's a dork liberal governor from California. He's got a ton of money himself. He's one of those guys that doesn't care if he lies. He doesn't care. This is the guy that they're talking about when Biden does have this eventual dementia attack, or when he does have this eventual fall down the stairs, or when he does have this eventual fall from grace a day after his inauguration. This is one of the people that they're looking to put in his place. I mean, well, you got Kamala Harris too. She's the vice president, but Jesus Christ, you haven't heard anything from her. I mean, what do we know about Kamala Harris? Okay. She's basically on the same wavelength as somebody like, who's the guy that spelled potato wrong? Kamala Harris, what are you doing? Okay. Now, I know a lot of women who are very, very disappointed in you, that are very, you're a woman vice president, you're a strong woman, and you're supposed to. I know a lot of women in my life that are so unbelievably disappointed in the job that you did representing women going into that big political man-driven atmosphere. And you just didn't say anything except cackle in interviews. You're the vice president. So, guys, if this does happen before the election, that's your president. That's our president. I know you could say yours, meaning it's not my president. Yeah, but we're America, and that right now is a representation of what is happening in our country. It's vital that we get away from that agenda. Vital. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of shit from some people when they listen to this, and I don't care. Please, let's talk. I need to hear your side of the story on why you think America is working right now. Every single day you hear it on the news. We are letting people in by the thousands. If you don't think we're letting criminals, gang members, drug dealers, rapists, pedophiles, terrorists, they stopped a goddamn terrorist at the border that told everybody that you're going to see me. Do you just watch look, people could say, oh, those videos are doctored. I don't know. But all I know is what I'm seeing on TV. What they're showing you is videos of thousands and thousands and thousands of people waiting to get into this country. Now, do you blame them? No, you don't blame them. I mean, you can't blame them because, listen, there's an agenda with a lot of these gang members. There's an agenda with a lot of the really, really bad people. But listen, some of these families, you look at them, it's like they were told something, took them 10 months to get here. They traveled on, banana boats to get here in whatever form of transportation. And you look at some of these people that have come here. How long did it take you to get here? 10 months. Now you're here. Now what are you going to do? I watched a video the other day of a family came here. They got on a bus. They took a bus all the way up to New Jersey, which isn't that far. Dropped them off in New Jersey. Turned right back around. Got right back on another bus. They came right back to New York City. Why? Because they said that's where they're going to have to be to make a life for their children. It's going to sound really... Our country is full Our resources are being drawn and sucked from us on so many levels. I understand, and I'm not as crazy and delusional to think that we could gather up 60 million people plus over the last how many years and just put them on planes and trains and automobiles and just send them back to their prospective countries. That's not a logical response for the people that have already snuck in, or the people that are already here, the people that are already being taken care of. But I guess we could stop people from coming in now. The damage is done. The damage is done. These borders are so wide open right now, so wide open that people are streaming in. It's unfathomable the amount of money that this is sucking. We're giving credit cards to migrants in New York City. Migrants in New York City are getting credit cards. Who's paying for that? Is that coming out of somebody's personal billionaire pocket? No. Taxpayers are paying that. They're paying it. How do you think a family feels that they haven't seen their Vietnam veteran grandfather in like 30 years because he's a recluse and he's homeless, or maybe something happened to him when he got back? And this family's like, my grandfather or my father is out there somewhere not being taken care of, but I'm paying to give a migrant family money so they can eat. People are walking into stores on a daily basis in New York City and walking out with whatever they want. Whatever they want. There's not enough law enforcement to stop this. And when law enforcement does take it in their hands to try and stop it, they start talking about how they're beating people up or they're being bullies. What is going to happen in this country when we were totally overrun? Whatever you feel about happened on that January 6th, whatever you feel, if it was a conspiracy, if it wasn't, I don't know how I feel about that. I think there's so much crazy shit going on that maybe it was. But what are you going to do, Senate, Congress, House of Representatives, President, whatever let's go with the three. What are you guys going to do when 100 million people show up to the White House with their families? What are you going to tell them? To go home? No. January 6th, look, people got hurt. There was a lot of, right-wing groups that were involved, I guess. Or whatever you think your conspiracy theory is, or whatever you think really happened. It's all irrelevant to the fact that what are you going to do when 100 million people show up at your doorstep and just say, fuck you? What are you going to do? That means everything stops, guys. Nobody gets gas. The oil companies don't prosper. The pharmaceutical companies in this country are keeping people sick in this country. They're keeping you sick. Pfizer. What are you doing? Pumping out the next drug? How come the Sackler family isn't either got the death penalty or in jail for 10 lifetimes, 1,000 lifetimes, however many lifetimes of the people's lives that they fucked up? Because they got their agenda pushed through politicians that were taking money. Billions of dollars are being made on people's misfortunes. When I say you don't blame the people, they're being fed this. The migrants, most of them just here we're going to America. Why? America's beautiful. America's great. If you think that a lot of these people coming over here have Twitter and they're reading the newspaper every day and like, holy shit, America sounds like a great place to come. No, people are profiting on that shit, man. Open your eyes. It's costing thousands of dollars for these people to get on these banana boats. And they're giving these people who are heading these organizations thousands of dollars. And they're coming right into this country. Who's to say if you're a Mexican cartel leader who's flooded with cash. How many of your guys are coming into this country? Meeting up with the guys that have snuck in. Guys, again, it's starting to happen. Look at New York City. They're pulling guns out in Times Square. What are we doing? Do we not see? Are we too busy trying not to hurt people's feelings? What are we going to do? We the people. That's what I call this, the title of this rant I'm on. I'm pissed, man. New York City is disgusting. Disgusting. But people come here all the time. Oh, I can't wait to go to New York City and see this. I can't wait to go to New York City and see that. They don't give a shit that they're stepping over homeless people every day. And look, homelessness in this country is a crisis. We need to help somehow. But how can we help our own people when we're giving away the store to the highest fucking bidder? The guy, the Homeland Security guy, idiot, lost his job because of this. Allocating funds. What's going on? You know, Trump came up and said, let's build a wall. Sounds like a good word. It's a wall. Look, the Chinese did it to keep the Mongols out. Whatever. How about we really think about that? Okay. Because, all right, a wall. It's going to keep people out. What does a wall do though? Well, wall doesn't have to, is not a lifetime, resistance to people sneaking in. People are going to pull up torches. They're going to blow holes in it. What we need people to protect our border. We need to stop. Look, I mean, we could talk about the positives of a wall, the negatives of a wall. I'm just giving you my input on where I think the funds should be allocated. When you think of this job on such a high level as billions and billions and billions. Now you're talking about construction companies making money. You're talking about a lot of people making money. You're talking about who knows who's getting money under the table from building the wall in their backyard. We don't know how much is and where it's going. But what we do know is we need jobs in this country, right? Our military, right? They're off in other countries doing what they're told to do, right? Bring them back. Let's protect our border. Let's put more money into something like, hiring law enforcement, hiring ex-military, hiring military, hiring ex-law enforcement. Because I'll tell you right now, there are people right now getting in their pickup trucks with their shotguns. There are people getting in their cars and driving to these borders at an alarming rate. There's people that are obviously more pissed off than I am. I'm not getting in my car and going down to Texas and standing on the border with a shotgun. My wife might. I'm just joking, half not. But what's going to happen if everybody starts saying, hey, what if enough people start doing that to where it can't be stopped? I understand there's militias involved. I understand that there's bad people involved also. I understand that there's, racist organizations involved. I understand that there's, I understand the undertones that happen when it comes to people protecting their country. But at the end of the day, something has to be done, and feelings are going to be hurt. They're just going to be. There's a big portion of this country in the last 20 years that got here on American soil, and they did it the right way. They stood in line in downtown Manhattan, lines that were blocks long, to told that they don't have the right paperwork, they got to come back. To told that they have to retake the test because they didn't know that George Washington was the first president. These people stood in line and they did it. They made it. They got to America. They pay taxes. They're productive members of society. There's a big portion of this country that did it that way that should start opening their mouths and saying, why can they just walk in and I had to do it this way? Why? Now let's just take the humane aspect out of it for a second, being Again, the migrants, I'm kind of on board that most of it's not their fault because they just hear this. There's a presidency, there's a cabinet, there's a liberal agenda, there's whatever you want to talk about and whatever you want to say that is driving this. You want to say it's Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom. You want to bring the Obamas into it, maybe. I don't know. These people all say that Donald Trump is a bully. That Donald Trump is he hates. Like he's crass. I just see that as somebody that's going to be elected if it's allowed. Now, when you start trying to keep people off the ballot, that to me is un-American. People of that state are supposed to let you know if he is going to be the candidate or not. So how about we stop the bullshit? Okay. How about we stop the bullshit? How about we stop the videos on both sides of mailbox ballot stuffing? How about let's not blame COVID on the fact that we have to do these mail-in ballots and these are crucial. What happens when a local politician gets caught stuffing 500 envelopes into a local township? What do we do then? What do we do when we find people that have voted in that prospective year that were dead? You have to open up some kind of investigation, right? Democracy is being infiltrated as well. People do not want America to succeed right now. And in order for us to have America succeed, we have to take America back. And that might sound like it might sound like a malicious thing to say. It might sound like a crazy thing to say. And I'm not even talking about those 100 million people going down to the White House and breaking the windows. I'm not even saying that. I'm just literally, let's go down there and sing Kumbaya or whatever. Let's just go down there. Let's be heard. Let's be seen. Let's be heard, middle. Let's be seen. Let's tell these crazy people in this left side that this is not the way we want our country to be run. Stop the bullshit. Stop giving money away. If we brought everything back here, and I know that sounds like a dream, we're so much farther away than all these countries. And look, it's bad. Israel's in a bad spot because of geography. They're in a bad spot because of religion. They're in a bad spot because they have people around them that hate them. They're resilient. And to hear their president come on and talk like a warmonger, I love it. Love it. He basically said, until they stop, we are not going to stop. That's it. That's war, guys. Okay? We need to look at America as a fucking priority, not as a place that you could come and just get whatever the hell you want. You could get whatever the hell you want here, I guess, by just crossing in here. They'll give you a credit card. They'll put you up in a 5-star hotel. That's what they're being told. Drug use is rampant in these hotels, these once nice hotels. These hotels that once housed Hollywood stars, millionaires, dignitaries, families on vacation. Now it's a filthy, disgusting shithole because we aren't allowed to let them do whatever they want. The election coming up now in 2024 in November. Very important. Listen, it's very important on whatever side that you want. It's very important. I also think that the Senate, Congress, why does it have to be Republican? Majority. Why does it have to be Democrat? Majority. How about we take a little bit of both and we start with bipartisanship? I say to people all the time, everybody has all these theories and conspiracy theories about JFK. He was killed. The mafia killed him. This one killed him because of Marilyn Monroe. I truly stand on this, and I truly feel this way. No conspiracy theory about why JFK was killed. JFK was murdered by the government, I think, because he wanted to play nice in the sandbox with everybody. He wanted to sit down and have a drink with somebody on the other side and hammer out stuff like, why can't we just all get along? All heard that before. But maybe the conspiracy is about the mafia, the conspiracy is about the grassy knoll, the conspiracy is about this. No, nobody wanted to play nice in the sandbox, but he did. I truly feel Obama would not have been president back then. Junior would have been president. And I truly feel that that would have been the start of something that his father started back in the 60s. Say what you want about the Kennedys, guys. They're womanizers. They're drunks. You know, the old man, Ted, said it best. You get business done over hard liquor. And that's how men talk. Like I said, you like them, you don't like them. Politics might be, not your cup of tea, but we have to start sitting down and talking like men. And when I mean talking like men, women can talk like men too. We get in here and we just hammer the details out and not worry about hurting someone's feelings. Last thing I'm going to say about one of the candidates here is Nikki Haley. Good luck, I guess, to you, but I don't know what you're trying to do, but you may as well just do what the other guys are going to do and put your tail between your legs and just get on the Trump train. Because, listen, I've come to that conclusion. I've had my issues in my head with Trump being the president of this country. I have my negatives about it. But this country now more than ever needs somebody who's going to say, go fuck yourself. And I hate to put it as crass as that, but we need somebody that's going to do that. And you know what's going to happen during all that? Feelings are going to be hurt. I don't have a good feeling about what's going to happen the day Trump is elected president of this country. Or, God forbid, the reverse happens and they somehow stuff those ballots enough where Biden becomes the president. Because you thought America's elections were polarizing up until this point. Wait till they announce Donald Trump as our next president of the United States, his second term. And wait till he starts hurting people's feelings. This country is going to go batshit crazy. Well, thank you for listening to me for almost an hour rant. Had some stuff I had to get off my chest. You guys go into that voting booth this year, guys. And after listening to this, if anybody has any problem, anybody wants to talk about what I had to say, call me up. You guys can text me if you want to bullshit and talk. I'm open. But what you guys call a bully president is what we need right now. And we need it now more than ever. So America, let's make the right choice, even though I don't think your choice really matters because it's whoever they want to be the president and to run the machine they're going to do anyway. But let's still maybe try and go in there with a little faith in democracy. And let's go in there and vote with the person who you feel is going to be good for the United States of America. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys soon. Don't forget to check out Keep Talking 365 on YouTube. And if you want to go to my Twitter account, it's what's the Twitter account I'm using now to argue with people these days? Check it out, 1972 at Twitter. If you want to hit me up on that, we can talk too. So later on, I think he wants to do some kind of sports show, so maybe he'll get back in the mix. And me and Josh are going to do some kind of shooting the breeze over the weekend. So, all right, guys, make the right choice for you, not for everybody else. Take care.